Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another video. We are looking here at the NASDAQ 100 futures, and we are rounding out the year. This is the last day of 2023, and I hope everyone had a successful and profitable year trading. We're going to look here. I'm going to cover one specific trade setup that I took going short, and the reason why. So I'll kind of go into detail about that. But let's talk about the structure first. When we look at the market, I kind of been doing this day to day. It's been helping people out. So making videos like this, they tend to allow people to understand my mindset of what I'm looking at in general. Okay, when it comes to the market, because one's person's way of trading, their strategy, or even how they look at the market. Okay, how the market appears to them when it comes to reading the market can be different from person to person. So, so this is how I, take a look and view the overall structure of the market. Now we're making higher highs and higher lows, right? The last few days. This is my higher time frame. If this is your first time viewing the channel here, I have tons of videos. I'm a supply and demand style trader. But the most essential core concept to trading is understanding market structure. All right, it doesn't matter what else that you may be paying attention to. Okay, I don't trade with indicators, but market structure is the core concept that all traders must really grasp, understand, master. I'll say it like that because it is the most important thing when it comes to trading. Okay, so we got breaker structure to the upside. The market pushed up here, pulled back, we broke high. Okay, so we pushed up here, pulled back, broke higher, pulled back, broke structure here to the upside, pulled back right here, and then we continue breaking structure back to the upside, pushing higher, making this high right here. Okay, and this was into yesterday's trading session. Now, what took place after it made this high right here, if you pay close attention, it pushed lower, it pulled back, it broke lower. So we broke a small area of structure right here at 138. I mentioned that yesterday. And then it made another, made a low, lower high, and lower low here. So we kept moving to the downside here. And we pushed lower, pulled back, okay? Broke structure here, pulled back, came down, broke more structure. Now you gotta be careful in this area right here. Even though this was a tested area, a low probability area of demand right here, okay? For those that know what I'm talking about, when I talk about low probability and high probability, when we're talking about that gap avoid, once the market, right here pushed up, pulled back, it broke higher. This last bearish down candle right here, when the market broke above it with that green candle, bullish candle, the next candle came back and closed in any area of void or gap that we typically see if the market just shoots to the upside real quick. So it kind of, the wick of this candle right here came back and closed that area in. So, but there was an imbalance resting, small area of imbalance resting within that zone right here. Okay, so when the market came back there, you can see that it kind of rejected that area. But this was a breaker structure to the upside here. All right, so we want to see the market start to take structure out back to the downside, and that definitely lets us know that the market is, the trend is starting to turn, okay, to the downside, or it could be to the upside. But in this case here, when we had this, the market made this high here, it made a low here, it broke small area of structure right here, breaking this, small area, this low right here at 138.5, broke through it, pulled back, and broke lower, okay? So, and then it kept moving lower, all right, breaking structure to the downside, and then eventually took out this area down here, below this area here at 17,060 in this general area right here. So when I started doing that, for sure, you should be definitely thinking that the market, and not just thinking, but you should know the market is in a bearish cycle now to the downside, or bearish movement. For how long? We never know, because it can reverse again and move back to the upside. But when we are in a bearish movement to the downside, yeah, of course we can look for opportunities to go short from key areas of supply is what I'm trying to say. Like this key area supply resting up here at 84 if we get back to it. So, you can mark that if you want to, if you haven't already. But we started moving lower, right? So we got a pull back, push down here, pull back, break a structure right here, We broke through this area structure right here. And as we continue pushing lower, we took out this area structure right here, okay? And we also took out this area right here, okay? Kept pushing lower. We took out this area here. And then we came down, you know, eventually you're probably going to come up against some area support or maybe even a demand area. There was a demand area resting down here at 930. Now I'm not saying 930 the time, I'm saying 930 the price area, price level. Right here around 16,930. We didn't get down to about 8 points away from that area before the market started doing what? Started turning back around and pushing back up. Okay, so if we want to take a look at the trade that I took today that I posted over on the Discord community, it was a 10-point move going short. All right, so what I was looking at was above when the market started breaking down, okay, and we started breaking through all these areas of structure back down to the downside. All right, when we started doing that, I noticed that there was a area of supply resting right here at 985. Okay, this move right here would have made a low, lower high, and lower low here. Okay, and then pulled back some and made a lower low here. All right, it took out this area right here. This is a bit area of structure right here. So when it broke below this area here at 958, on this movement to the downside right here, this was an area of supply, aggressive selling right here. So I just waited for the market to pull back to that area. Now I had to be mindful too, because when it did start retracing back to that area, this is where I talk about always, you need to pay attention to price action, because it broke a small area of structure right here at 977.25. All right, when it pushed up, okay, it broke this area here. It pushed up, aggressive buying, pull back, swung higher. Then it tapped right into this area of supply. So now that we retraced to the area of supply, I need to be mindful of this area down here, because now, even though this is supply, we have this area of demand below it. This area is low probability, an area of demand, but it's still an area of demand, okay, because there was aggressive buying that came out of here that broke this area structure to the upside. All right, so we tapped into that area of supply right there, okay. Now, before I talk about that area of supply, the rejection on it off the lower time frame, I want to show you that I did take a small little scalp going long, and the reason why, okay, we broke structure right here above 970. What did I say, 976, 977.25, right there. We pushed up, okay? So if I move down to my lower time frame, we could see what was taking place here, all right? That area is right there at 977.25, 977.5. It's breaking structure as it's pushing higher, all right? And we take out this area here, okay, at 977.5 or 977.25, like I said. When it does that, it pulls back. It breaks structure back to the upside again, slightly. This is a small break of structure back to the upside because it just whipped right above it. Pulls back, pushes higher, pulls back, break of structure to the upside right here at 86.25. And when I saw this right here, this aggressive buying back up to the upside here, now I was mindful. I knew what was taking place here, that we were tapping into, let me see, give me 1 second. Yeah, we're going up there tapping into this area of supply right here, right? But still, you can scalp even on a lower time frame if you know what's going on, looking at the structure on a lower time frame. So don't get confused with the supply setup that I'm talking about. I'm just showing you a quick little example of a buy entry or a long position I took, because on a lower time frame we were breaking structure back to the upside, pull back, break a structure right here. Again, this is a pullback, a break of structure above this area here at 86.5. We have an area of demand right here, lower time frame demand. Okay, on a 12 range chart, pulls back. I'm looking above me to see where I can take it to. Okay, all right. So I knew immediately if we get the rejection, I get the closure with the break of a candle in the opposite direction, then I'm gonna go long at least back up to this area right here at. Let me move this red line out the way. You see where it hit it at? It came back up to 85.25. It probably should have. It was 2 ticks pretty much shy of where I originally had my TP at, but I went ahead into a profit there once I got up there and started pulling away. I went ahead into profit. It was like just a couple point pickup. I think I got into the trade. I was aggressive because I was waiting for the break of the candle in the opposite direction, right? And it didn't give it to me immediately. So if I blow this up, pushes up, pulls back, the next bullish candle right here, all right, followed with this next candle that closed above it, I went long, okay? So waiting for this bullish candle here to close, the next one to close. That gave me the sign right there, because we were pushing up, came back, wicked away from the area again, and this bullish candle right here, I went long, taking it back up to here. All right, then it starts running back to the downside. I knew it was going to probably do that. Again, this is the trade that I'm talking about, because this right here was a supply setup. All right, why was a supply? Again, push down, pull back, breaking lower, breaking below this area structure right here. So when I saw that right there, this is aggressive area of supply right there, aggressive selling right here. I'm waiting for it to pull back to that key area of supply around the 90-91 area. When it got there, take a look what happened. Okay, now when we move down to a lower time frame, what you primarily want to see is rejection to take a short. And I always talk about looking for the market to reject the higher time frame zone, and then look for it to start to break structure to the downside, pretty much. You want to see the market basically reversing from that area or rejecting that area and pushing lower. So ultimately, I'm going to show you, let's see, where you could have gotten to trade at sooner than I did primarily. Okay, so I'm going to show you, because the aim of what we were going to target once the market rejected this area was going to be back down here to this demand area, pretty much. Okay, so somewhere in here you could have gotten to the trade. This is on the higher time frame. I'm not saying take the trade from the higher time frame, but somewhere in this general area from the lower time frame, which I'm going to show you the setup and what to look for when you get the rejection at this area of supply. All right, so we go back down to the lower time frame. All this is using multiple charts, just basically two charts. Marking a higher time frame zone or level and allowing you once it's tapped into it, and move down to your lower time frame chart. Okay, look for the rejection. Look for the trend to shift on the lower time frame, pretty much. Okay, so on the lower time frame, even though we were bullish back to the upside here, aiming for retracing, all we were doing was retracing back to the higher time frame supply area. Now, but again, be mindful, because we do have this area of demand. So this was a supply area set up back down to the area of demand down here. All right, so get into the nitty-gritty of the lower time frame and what to look for. All right, so we push down here, pull back. We push down here. Okay, then we pull back. All right, so then the market pushed lower and broke below this area structure here at 975. Okay, it runs lower. Okay, but what I was looking for it to do, because this is an area of supply at this point here, now that we're in the lower time frame, we want to look for a supply setup, right? That was our supply area right there once it broke below structure. Again, I'm looking for a structure break. Okay, pushes down, pulls back, breaks lower. So what I want to see when the market is at that zone or that level, and we're talking about the level, the supply zone. Sorry guys. So the market runs lower. Okay, we make a low, lower high, lower low, broke structure here, but we also broke structure right here. So that's telling me, okay, this is a strong, possibility that the market wants to run lower, and this is a setup that's setting us up for a supply setup on the lower time frame. Remember, I talked about this in multiple videos. Once we marked off the area, in this case here, for example, supply on the higher time frame, we then want to move down, look for the change in direction on the lower time frame, meaning the trend to be moving from a bullish standpoint to a bearish standpoint. And how you are able to determine that is when you start to see the trend change, where we start to break structure on the lower time frame to the downside, and then we start to look for a pullback to a key area of supply on the lower time frame. So we broke here. This area here is a supply area. We got aggressive selling after the break here. It pushes lower. It also breaks here. Supply area. Okay. Now the market didn't immediately come back to that, but I'm gonna show you to the right hand side of the chart once we, in a few moments, that it did eventually come back to the area. So in this case here, because it didn't immediately come back, I could wait for it, or I could look for another opportunity, because I'm still aiming for primarily this area for the market to come back down to, which was right around here, around 957, 16,957 was the area in which I would definitely want it to see come back to, because it had some imbalances to fill here, an imbalance right here. Okay, the market has to correct itself. When we see it rejecting off of higher time frame levels, supply or demand zones, and then you know, there may be imbalances below. You know, if we're up moving to, in this case here, moving to a supply area and we have imbalances below and we get rejection and look at the lower time frame, it's going to want to come back down to these areas, okay? And then vice versa if we're moving from demand and coming back to that area. All right, so anyways, the market is breaking structure to the downside. This would have been a key area to get into it, but it never pulled back to that area. There's a void or gap back to that zone, that supply area, hasn't tapped into it. But it did eventually, I'm going to show you. Runs lower, okay, pulls back. What does it do here? Breaks lower, it breaks below this area here. That's why I have this arrow line here. That's a break of structure. 19,964, 964 and a quarter, okay? Now, this right here, because we had a low, lower, high, aggressive selling, break of structure here, it pulls back. This is a supply area, okay? And once we got into that area, and I noticed we got the rejection, like I always talk about, last bullish up candle, right? We're looking for rejection. We're looking for a sign or signal for us to be able to get to the trade. The break of the candle here, this red bearish candle below, the candle closed below, breaking below and closing, that tells me I should get in, okay? At 970, I'm going to take my shot. 970 and a quarter, you get in and look what happens. It goes all the way back down, even below, lower than, I should say not below, but lower than that 57 area I talked about. It came all the way down to 43, back down towards the low right here. This was a demand area, low probability though, okay? But again, I'm looking to take the trade from the higher time frame supply area, okay? Once it taps into it, I get the breaker structure, fall through to the downside, letting me know that even though we were in a bullish movement to the upside here, off the lower time frames, be careful, because even if a move looks like it's bullish on the lower time frame, that does not mean that it's bullish on the higher time frame. This was a pullback and retracement to that key area supply, rejects it. We get a change in the tide or the trend, breaker structure. Look for a key area of supply to take your trade back going south, okay, back going short. All right, eventually that area right here, I did want to tell you about. We got the low, the lower high, the break right here below this area here at 974 and a quarter. Look what happens. It does come back eventually. This is that area right there, supply. It eventually comes back to that area, rejects it, and moves lower. Now, if you're taking a trade on the pullback to this area right here, wait for the break of the candle again, but be mindful of what's below you, because let's see, the market started taking out some minor areas of structure on the lower, on the lower time frame, back to the upside here. Okay, so it broke up, pull back, break a structure, pulls back, break a structure. So it broke here, broke a structure here, and it starts taking out a structure right here as it's moving higher. Okay, so once it taps into that zone, we're looking for the close or the break of the candle in the opposite direction. And then once I see, let's blow this up a little bit. Right here, I didn't take this trade because I was already done after I got into that short right here, okay? But once you get the break and the close in the opposite direction, if you're aggressive, you could have got in right here. This first bullish and bearish candle to the downside, the second candle close, you could have got in there at 79. Or if you waited for the actual full-on break below this area here, then you wouldn't have got into like 76, so you may have only picked up a few points moving to the downside. But the area to aim for was going to be right here, okay? There's a small area of demand right here, all right? Because you got a push up, pull back, break a structure, aggressive buying. This area right here is demand, so this would have been a supply to demand area, okay? So if you got in here at 79 and taking it down here to 69, another 10-point pickup right there. Got to be able to see things like that, okay? But if you got in here at 76 and you took it down here to 70 or 69, then you pick yourself up 7 points right there, close to 7 points, depending on how long you stay in the trade. But just wanted to show you the trade that I took. It was a beautiful 10-point move on 2 contracts. Again, tapping into a higher time frame supply area and noticing that we had demand below and taking it back down there. You got to see moves like this, but you got to understand, ultimately, like I always talk about, market structure is king when it comes to trading. Because if you do not master market structure, you will not be able to see the setups and how they unfold on the chart. Okay, all right. Knowing where the market was starting to, the tide was turning right here on the higher time frame. We broke structure right here to the downside, broke below 137, well, primarily 139, and then it started to move lower and lower, breaking structure here, breaking structure here, here, clearing all those areas of structure. We were in a bearish cycle, okay? So if I look at the market right now, you know, what mind frame, I'd be looking, you know, still, I'm bearish, okay? Even though we are starting to slightly break structure back to the upside here, these are minor areas of structure that we're breaking, okay? We broke here, pushed up, pulled back, broke structure right here, and we just broke above this area right here. So we're breaking through minor areas of structure back to the upside. Can you look for longs? Yes, you can, but be mindful because, you know, now we're kind of wedging when you see the price of the market make a high and then a low, and then it's trading within a leg right here. So you're wedging. For all those that can't really see a wedge, it's like this right here, okay? You see it? There's a high here, a low here, breaking minor area of structure back to the upside here, as it's moving back up, okay? Now, it can reject any particular area and decide to move back lower. Like, it can come back to this area right here. This is a key area of supply right here. Aggressive selling, it can tap into that and then move lower. But again, you want to pay attention to price action as the markets will tracing back to that zone there once we get back there. And matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and mark this area because this is a area of supply, a nice area of supply price. The market can tap back and get back there today, which it may or may not. But anyways, it's at 17,084. Keep your eye on that in that area right there. Aggressive area selling off the higher time frame. Then we switch to the lower time frame, and we look for the setup to happen. But that's all I want to share with you guys today. Hopefully, I know a couple people had commented on the Discord if I could break that trade down and show you what I was, you know, my thought process in doing so. I try to be as detailed as possible in doing and, you know, in covering that setup, and hopefully you understood that. Okay, supply to demand type setup, but we were tracing to an area of supply because we got to break a structure below this area here, leaving this aggressive area selling right here. So take it, you know, you get to the supply area, look for the rejection on your lower time frame, take it. But for all those who are interested in joining the Discord as well, yes, the Discord community, find the link down in the description portion of the video. Click on it, invite yourself in. It is free. Yes, it's free. And if you're a first-time viewer and you haven't subbed to the channel, guys, I have tons of videos like this on the channel where I'm going over trades that I take. I post my trades over on the Discord. So individuals, not just myself, but there's tons of other community members that are part of the Discord that post their entries, their trades too. Okay, I trade supply and demand. You know, we have lots of individuals that trade supply and demand similar to the way I trade. But, you know, the thing about trading is you put your own little twist on it and make it yours. That's the thing. You know, there are loads of community members that understand supply and demand, trade it, but they trade a little differently too as well. But at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that we're green on the day and that you don't have a losing day. So that's the reason why I make this type of videos, to help other people out, inspire people to continue trading. And now that we're getting ready to step into a new year, I'm wishing everyone much success, much profitability moving into the new year, and spend time on your charts. Okay, really spend loads of time on their back testing, forward testing. Just don't go dump a bunch of money in your account or a little bit of money in there and start trading if you do not fully understand market structure. Understand, and again, I would say it, market structure is king if you want to make it in this business. You have to master it to be able to understand what you're looking at. Okay, it's like reading a book. If you're reading to comprehend it, you're going to understand the storyline. If you just look at these charts and you have no idea and you're chasing the market on breakouts, then you are going to get your hand slapped and you're going to get your butt handed to you sooner or later. Okay, you'll get burned. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Please do me a favor. If you're not a current subscriber, go ahead and click on that sub button. Lots of valuable information here, lots of knowledge that I'm sharing with everyone on the daily. Lots of videos. I've been posting like almost every day straight, especially into December here. And so yeah, it's tiring, but you know, I know that these videos are helping people out there. So I appreciate everyone commenting, leaving nothing but leaving all the positivity remarks that you're leaving. And I know we're gonna have, you know, a negative comment here and there, but those are people that are just always going to hate on you, regardless of the fact of what you try to do. At the end of the day, my goal is to see people, you know, not say become successful, because I want to see them become successful, but I want to see them become profitable. I want to see people transform to where they were losing or breaking even, and I want to see them, you know, make their first few $100, and every single day going forward continue to grow from there. And that's the goal. You know, this is not a business to try to get rich overnight. It's a business about growth and development, being able to build capital over time. But anyways, I appreciate it. Leave a like if you found value in today's content. And make sure to click on the subscribe button to become a sub today. Make sure to turn on all your post notifications by clicking on that bell. And I will see everyone. Well, I may make another video this weekend. If I do not, I will see everyone into the new year next week. Take care and trade safe.